The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Pesky Report. My name is Brad Chandler. This is episode number 214. With me today, I have one of my co-hosts that is a part of the weekday show and one of the co-hosts who is part of the weekend show. I've got Tim.
What's up, Brad? I'm so happy we're back, and I'm so happy the beautiful Hogdale is here.
Thanks for ruining the introduction, you asshole.
I'm so sorry. I'm just so excited, dude.
Yeah, you're fucking. And also with us today, we've got the beautiful bad boy of Boston Red Sox Twitter, Hogdale. How you doing, boss?
I'm doing fantastic, man. It is indubitably that time.
It is, and like you said, Tim, it's fantastic. I would say we're full on back yet. With we'll be doing the 2 episodes a week. Rundown of the games and whatnot. We are still in spring training. We'll probably get there at the end of spring training, which is in a couple weeks. So maybe we're almost there.
I mean, we play games that count this month, so in my mind, we're back.
We play one game.
That's still a game.
It is a game.
Brad's trying to shit on my parade right now.
Hey, man. I'm not trying to shit on anybody's parade because honestly, the best thing that's happened to me since spring training started is the fact that I get to actually listen to the games while I'm at work. So I was telling you guys beforehand, it's during the off season, it's kind of boring. It's not boring with the podcast and whatnot, but you listen to a podcast that drops once every other week or whatever, and then you listen to music or you listen to an audiobook, which is something I started getting into recently. Just finished 4 of the Harry Potter books.
Fuck yeah, brother. The audiobooks are the best. I'm obsessed with them.
Yeah, they're awesome. I just finished reading a book that I started 12 years ago. It's called I Hope They Serve Beer in Hell. It's such a funny book. If you get a chance to, I would definitely listen or read it. It's probably one of the funniest books I've ever read. I definitely love the movie, so if you get a chance to watch that, definitely. But
the off season is tough to survive for a lot of people. Me, I'm a fucking sports junkie, so whatever sport is on TV, usually I'm getting invested into it, so I can put a lot of my time and energy into that.
Same, dude.
I can't do that. See, you two are both Patriots fans, and it must have sucked last year for you guys, but. I can't watch football. I'm one of those people that I can't get invested in football, and it's not because I don't want to it's because I just can't get into it.
Brad, have you ever tried hockey?
I don't like it.
God, I fucking love hockey. I love hockey so much.
They don't fight nearly as much as they used to.
Yeah, but it makes the fights better now because they're so rare.
And in all honesty, I grew up in Connecticut, so my team when I was younger were the Hartford Whalers. I used to listen to the Whalers all the time on the radio, and when they moved, I root for the Bruins, but I'm not gonna watch it,
Dude, they're on an insanity run this year, though.
Oh, yeah, they are. So aren't the Celtics on a wicked?
Yeah, the Celtics are great too. They're right now. They're probably the favorite team out of the East to win.
We'll see. All right. So what I was trying to say is now that we got spring training and whatnot, so I get at work at 5 o'clock in the morning. So when I get to work, I put in my earbuds and I listen to something or whatever. Now it's hey, there was a couple games on yesterday. I can throw that game on, So when I went into work on Monday, dude, all I did all day until the Red Sox played was listen to other games, and it's so awesome. Like it's it's like baseball is back, but it's not back. You know what I mean? Like these games don't count, but it's awesome to be able to hear that baseball is back.
Not just that, but like another part of it, it's awesome hearing guys that like the normal baseball fan wouldn't know, like the minor league guys. I love that so much more. That's my favorite part of like spring training is the beginning, because you see the non-roster invitees that are trying to fight for a chance to be either on the opening day roster or make the 40-man.
Right. I was actually just saying something about that to you guys right before we popped on. It's like, it's so awesome that, like, we've chatted with, like Nick Stogard, Brandon Walters, Chris Murphy, Rio Gomez, and, and not knocking the fans that don't know them, because I was once that person.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know who like the minor league players were, but like seeing them getting the chance and they're playing and like I'm seeing them on Nesson, so like that's awesome. I shot one of the guys. I shot two of the guys a message on Twitter, like saying, "Hey, dude, you look great," and had a little conversation with them and whatnot. Not expecting them to bullshit with me or whatever, but it's like, hey, that's cool. You got that connection with those people, so those are our guys now.
Mm-hmm.
It's like wicked. It's wicked pissing, man. Yeah, it's pretty cool, dude. Like I feel like a little kid. I'm almost 40 years old, and I've been like feeling like a little kid again.
Just Tim with the mute, absolutely coming in clutch.
So we have a few things that I want to talk about today. I, trying something new here. Been trying to do it for the past 2 years with writing notes and whatnot when it came to the podcast and episodes and whatnot. But we got a few things to talk over. We're going to talk some Red Sox. We're actually going to talk some MLB news as well. We've heard about some guys that got hurt. We've already talked about the pitch clock and whatnot on the last episode. I'll get your guys, Hogdale, we've already got your opinion on the pitch clock. I'll ask him his opinion and whatnot. We've got news. Just found out that a former Red Sox player just signed with another team, which I think is fantastic. So yeah, let's get into it, guys. So I believe it was Monday. Yeah, it was Monday during workouts. There was a flood of tweets that came through that said that there was a mariachi band during the workouts. And lo and behold, it comes out that it's Alex Verdugo who ended up hiring a mariachi band because Alex Core decided to, task them with, hey, anybody who's doing the World Baseball Classic, I want you to teach everybody about the country that you're playing for and whatnot. So Alex decided that he was going to hire a mariachi band. It literally looked like everybody had fun with it. What were your guys' reactions when you saw that? Because I laughed. I laughed my ass off.
I've never seen such a big smile on Chris Sale's face as I saw when they panned that video to him. That dude looked like he was having the time of his life, and that's the energy that they need going into this year, especially from a guy that they're expecting a lot out of in Chris Sale. So
I'm sorry, can we stop using energy and start using vibes?
Yeah, the vibes.
The vibes are high. I'll say that. They're vibing out.
Okay. Hogdale, what were your thoughts?
The vibes do check out, but it's just so hilariously on brand for like Alex Verdugo. Like, of course, he's the one who brought the fucking mariachi band in. Who else on the team would have done such a thing? I just love the idea of showing everyone on the team like your respective culture. That being said, the idea of like Masataka Yoshida like getting everyone in the clubhouse like rounded up to like put some like anime on the fucking screen, like this is culture.
Nah, it's got to be sumo. He's got to be doing.
Sumo would be sick too.
Yeah.
Culture.
Can we also give Jaron Duran some credit for that too? Because he was involved.
No. He was involved with it, but I mean, Verdugo was the one that he studied for like 4 hours after like Sunday's game. I mean, like, come on, man. Like, we didn't, no disrespect to Duran, but it's like we didn't hear about him sitting around waiting, doing some studying or whatever for this this test or whatever it was.
Yeah, not giving him the credit for Verdugo, who is the vibe orchestrator currently.
Yeah, Paul Wall Grills. Speaking of Alex Verdugo, it was said on Chris Verdugo, who happens to be Alex Verdugo's brother. I believe it was a tweet that he had mentioned that he had talked to Alex about hitting leadoff. The problem I see with this is that they're talking about Rafi hitting second, because you give your best hitter more at bats if they're hitting second, right? So what's I don't feel like he's going to start off a lineup lefty right away. I mean, there's a possibility if it's a righty pitcher, but I don't see it happening. Hogdale?
I mean, yeah. I'd be okay with Verdugo hitting leadoff. It's one of those things that in the past seasons we talked about for sure wanting him to do it. In terms of like a dude hitting in front of Rafi, though, with him in the 2 slot, I want a guy who's an on-base specialist. Give Rafi as many chances as possible to knock a guy in. So
yeah,
a lot of people thought it was go ahead.
And you know what? Verdugo can get on base. The problem is that he gets thrown out at second because he tries. Yeah, love the guy. Absolutely love Verdugo.
He's the most tragic base runner on this entire team. Like, I love him. I do love Alex Verdugo. Like, again, he's the vibe connoisseur. We love this man, but this man cannot run the bases for shit. Like
I mean, he got thrown out at second the other day because he was trying to make a single into a double. It's like, come on, bro. Tim.
I am actually okay with it, only for the fact that I want someone who is comfortable leading off. And they were talking about Yoshida possibly not being comfortable leading off, with him being used to hitting in the middle of the order. And if Verdugo is texting his brother being like, yeah, it's something I want to do, I want a guy who has the confidence to do it and will be okay with leading off. So, I mean, I'm okay with lefty. He just needs to learn how to stay on base better, because he can get on base. It's just about staying on base, like you guys were saying.
Right.
That's the thing, though, with the confidence thing, is that's why, like, when I hear the idea of a Tristan Cassis leadoff hitter, I don't immediately am revolted by it, because he's just built different. Like, mentally, he's just so sound in his game, and he's just got such a complete and utter mastery of the strike zone at such a young age. I understand if you want to start the season off hitting him, 6 or 7, get him adjusted, get him comfortable. But, if later in the season he's hitting a stride, you want to try him a leadoff, I would 100% be down with that.
Hogdale, what are your thoughts on having, say, Christian Arroyo batting leadoff?
I know what you're doing, and I don't appreciate it. First off, when I said that originally, I was right.
No, you were 100% right. You were 100% right.
I will not be slandered for a take that was right at the time.
No, you were 100% right. So for those that don't know, I believe it was it 2021?
Yeah,
I think it was 2021. So Hogdale
had first episode, I think.
It was we were trying to get Kike as leadoff, and it just wasn't working. It was not working. Another guy I love, and he's another vibes guy, but Kike just wasn't working out. And Hogdale was screaming at the top of his lungs that you need to put Christian Arroyo as the leadoff guy, and he said that if Alex Cora did not do that, he was going to fight him. No, you said you were going to fight him, or you were going to jump off a bridge, I think.
Yeah, that sounds either one of those. Yeah. That's the thing, though. As I said, I was going to fly down there. I was going to, fight Alex Cora, and then he'd beat the shit out of me because he's much more fit than I am. But I'd still be sending a message.
Right. So, moving on. So I've been doing, some reading when it comes to baseball lately.
Let's go.
And it's been getting a little knowledge here and there. But according to MLB.com, I forgot who the writer was. I forgot to put that in the notes. But David Hamilton could be the dark horse for the Red Sox this season because of his speed, the size of the bags, and the amount of times pitchers can throw over. very interesting, in my opinion. Like you're shaking your head no there, Tim.
I don't like it.
Why not?
He hasn't played above Double A.
Yeah.
I would like to see him at least get a
Didn't Rafi switch go from Double A to MLB?
yes,
And he
but that
skipped
was
AAA?
that was
I'm
under
not trying to compare
no
David
no.
Hamilton.
No, I know you're not, but it was under a different front office. I don't see them taking that path with a guy at Hamilton's level. Now, maybe if it was Mayer, I could see them skipping over AAA with him if they felt he was comfortable enough in AA. But I don't see Hamilton being the type of guy to completely skip over AAA. So maybe at the end of the year when rosters expand, you're making a playoff push, you want some speed and defense, then you could see Hamilton up. But I don't see him being a dark horse to make the roster out of the gate.
I don't think they were talking about him making the roster out the gate. I think, just with the speed and whatnot.
To make impact. Yeah.
Right. Hogdale.
No, actually, low-key, like it a lot. Because if you look at the way the rule change has been structured this year, stolen bases are going to be up. And they're going to be up by a decent amount. And if there's one thing that David Hamilton is exceedingly good at, it's swiping bags. He stole, 70 bases last year in the minors?
Yep.
Set the Red Sox, minor league record for stolen bases.
70.
Yeah, that's nuts. Pitchers can't throw over as much now. The bases are bigger. I think the idea of having a dude come in to be more of a dedicated pinch runner to steal a base. I think it's going to be coming back in a big way.
Yep. Yeah, I agree.
Also, it was Ian Brown who had that segment for David Hamilton.
Was it? Okay, Thank you. I thought it was. I don't know if there's any other MLB.com writer for the Boston Red Sox. So we already talked about Yoshida not guaranteed to be the leadoff guy. Whatever. I mean, they talked about him possibly being a leadoff guy. I don't think it was ever set in stone with him being the leadoff guy. Nothing's ever set in stone. I mean, what was it? Like I said, 2021 Kike was the leadoff guy, and that just did not work out until the end of the season, basically. So them spending the $90 million on Yoshida and saying that he could be a leadoff guy, or they see him as a leadoff guy, doesn't mean that he's going to be a leadoff guy. I mean, if he's got the power and he can hit the ball all over the place, whatever, put him where it's going to benefit the team.
100%. And the Red Sox have on-base machines everywhere on this team. They can find someone to hit leadoff. My God, this team this year, I'm just so excited to see them work in the regular season because they are going to grind these pitchers to dust with these at-bats. 90% of this lineup has amazing, discipline and plate vision. I'm so excited, man. This season's going to be epic.
I like the idea of Yoshida hitting, like I said earlier, fourth or fifth because that's what he's comfortable with. It's what he's seen the most. And if you have a guy leading off who can see a lot of pitches, then you have Devers who knows when to swing and when not to swing. Then say you insert Turner, which I think he'll be hitting third. There's another on-base guy. You get Yoshida hitting fourth. He's power or on base. So I think the lineup structure would work out great for him to be hitting in the middle of the order.
Yeah. From what I've seen of Yoshida, it seems like he's got opposite power. I mean, we haven't seen him hit a home run yet, but I mean, he hit a fly ball the other day. Granted, it was a fly ball, but it was a sac fly, right?
Yeah.
Am I mistaken? So, whatever. I think I'm okay with what they decide they're going to do because if they decide that they want to put, just for shits and giggles, that they want to put, is it Ramio? Is that how you say his name? If they wanted to put Tapia as the leadoff guy, I wouldn't hate it, as long as it works, even if they wanted to do the Kike experience again, I wouldn't hate it. I love Kike. I think he'd be a great leadoff guy, but you gotta cut the strikeouts out,
Yeah, 100%.
Moving forward, so it looks like Whitlock might not be ready for opening day.
I'm not too concerned about it. I want him to be 100% before he pitches, seeing how he is going to be worked out to be a starter this year. and it's an experience. Like I read a quote the other day saying he feels like or something along the lines of him feeling like he has the power to start, which he's never felt really like he's had in the majors before, because he's never been stretched out like this since he's been on the Red Sox. So I just want him to be 100% before they throw him. And I don't think he'll be out for too long, maybe 2 weeks at most, if he's not ready till the regular season.
Yeah, they said that he might miss a start or a turn or two. It's nothing like that's going to be super
Extensive.
Yeah, it's because he hasn't been able to do. I think it was PFPs, what they call it. So, Hogdale, anything on that?
It's whatever. I mean, yeah, you want him to be 100%, healthy, ready to go. Everything that Garrett Whitlock himself has said, like about him throwing, indicates that he's feeling a lot better than last year in general, because he's referenced repeatedly how he really had to strain to get his stuff to move the way that he wanted it to last year, just because of how he was hampered by a bit of injury. And he said this year it's feeling effortless. So he'll get here when he gets here. The Sox have sneaky depth right now, like in the rotation and in the bullpen. So I'm not super worried about him missing like a week or two.
We do. We have a couple guys down in AAA right now that, at a moment's notice, they could be up in Boston. And I seriously think that Murphy, Mata, or Walter could be, the next pitcher called up. So,
did you guys see what Alex Cora said about Paxton?
No, I didn't.
That he distinguished himself, right?
Yeah, he said he was distinguishing himself amongst the pack of starters. So he was really impressed with him.
That's good to hear.
Yeah.
I know that I've said it before about the fact that we only have 2 lefties now. But I guess fuck it, whatever. But that's good to hear, because that's what is he making, $3 million this year?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll see. I believe, give me a second. If I'm not mistaken, he's getting ready to make his spring training.
Yeah, it's going to be I think they said Friday.
Yeah, so Houck is tomorrow, Paxton is Friday, Pivetta is Saturday, Kluber again on Sunday. Against the Marlins again?
You know what really sucks about that Friday game? It's not televised.
Yeah.
You know what's great about that?
What?
It'll be on the radio. And Monday is to be determined, and it looks like Chris Sale, maybe? Maybe? I'm not sure. Hopefully.
Hopefully we see no Matt Barnes, because, he's been popping up lately.
him and his anal beads, dude. Did you see that picture I posted?
I did see the picture. God.
I have no hatred for Matt Barnes. I don't hate him as much as, Brady does. Brady absolutely despises Matt Barnes. And he has good reason. It has nothing to do with the fact that he sucked on the Red Sox the past couple of years. Anybody who knows this podcast, you've heard it a couple times, and if you haven't, you can definitely go back and listen.
Yeah, the Brady lore.
Yeah, he absolutely despises Matt Barnes, and it has nothing to do.
I just don't understand how
years.
How can you hate someone who gave you $20 million so much when you were immediately turned into a pumpkin as soon as the contract?
Yeah, the fact that he said that was like. He's like, oh, just because one guy is making the decisions doesn't mean that you hate everybody. It's like, bro,
dude,
no self-awareness.
I wish I had the mental self-image of Matt Barnes, because this man clearly thinks he's like fucking Liam Hendricks or something. Bro thinks he's Liam Hendricks when really he's like Chris Bubich. That's the skill level you're actually on. Oh man, it'd be like if I was walking around thinking I had the cloud of fucking Leonardo DiCaprio.
Leonardo DiCaprio only, he could only wish that he had, Hogdale's.
Yeah, totally. Oh my god.
All right, moving forward. Also, speaking of injuries and whatnot, did you guys read the article that I posted in the chat about Garrett Whitlock and Tanner Houck.
Oh, I didn't see that one.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
missed that.
Yeah, so Tanner Houck, obviously, Houck got surgery, so didn't Whitlock.
That one.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's also, Houck's going to be ready. He's pitching tomorrow, obviously, or when this drops, it'll be today, I guess. But I don't know if I feel concerned about this or I'm just like, fuck. But it looks like there's a good chance that Deo isn't going to be, isn't going to be ready for opening day. It sounds like his progress has slowed down after he experienced the forearm soreness. They're saying that it's they're.
Oh, go ahead.
Well, give me a sec. It doesn't seem like that injury. It doesn't seem like the injury is serious, but he has been back to throwing. I believe he threw a side session today or a bullpen today. So, any concerns on that, guys? What are your thoughts?
It's not great. I wish there were no concerns to this point. I mean, I think they're saying that he'll be fine, so I'm going to take them at their face value and think that he will be fine. But I won't lie and say that it's not a little, disconcerting.
I'm not really. Oh, sorry, Hogdale. Were you not finished?
No, I'm done. Go ahead.
Okay. I wasn't really too concerned, but like the further this progresses, the more concerned I get. Like I thought it was just going to be shut down for a few days, but now they're talking about him not being ready for the start of the season, which that makes it a little more concerning. At first, like there was no concern, but now it's starting to ramp up to be concerned.
I don't, like I said, I'm not sure on how I feel about it. There were talks, like as soon as it happened, there was talks like, oh, this is on his way to getting Tommy John. And it's like, wow, way to overreact, and people were just saying like, oh, he's been working with Pedro. Like, what do you mean ramping up? It had nothing to do with ramping up. It was the fact that he was working on, I believe, from what I read, and if I'm wrong, correct me. I believe it said that he was working on his breaking pitches. And that's how it happened. It had nothing to do with him ramping up. So, my thoughts. I'm kind of in the same boat as you, Tim. Like, not overly concerned. Just I'm there. I know what's going on, but I'm not gonna full blown be like, oh my god, the world's gonna go blaze.
Exactly.
We do have some good news coming from about Mondesi. I'm not even gonna attempt to try to say his name. I feel like I'm saying it wrong. Adalberto Mondesi. Adalberto, is that how you say it? See, that's why I didn't want to say it. I felt like I was going to fuck it up, but I did fuck it up. So if I just say Mondesi, you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
He ended up taking his first rounds of batting practice in 10 months. He did 4 rounds, which it was the first time, like I said, in 10 months. And he's trying to prepare as if he's going to make the opening day roster. He knows he's not going to, but that's how he's trying to do it. Sounds good to me. As soon as we get, he's a speedster too.
That's what I was thinking. Like, this brings me back to my David Hamilton point. This is a point that I forgot to make. Mondesi is a reason I think Hamilton might not make the roster this year, because to me, they're kind of like the same exact player, plus defense, a little bit shaky with the bat, but really good on the base pass. So I feel like we already have a Hamilton on the Major League roster this year.
Fair enough.
Definitely see that. But that's another reason Hamilton could make the roster, is that Mondesi infamously has had some health concerns. So, I mean, if he does get nicked at some point this season, you could bring David Hamilton up to fill some of that role.
Let me take a quick look here. I gotta look something up.
Are you going to pull up his medicals?
No. I don't know how to pull. You think I know how to do that?
You pull it up, it's like a herpes diagnosis. Where's this come from?
Yeah, right.
That's crazy. I didn't even know.
I didn't need to know.
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, Mondesi really hasn't played a lot of games.
No.
He was on the Kansas City Royals for 7 years. and he only played 358 games.
Yep.
The most he played was in 2019.
Yeah, and he's a dude with a lot of talent, but he just hasn't been able to stay healthy.
Had 10 triples in 2019. Had
Damn.
24 stolen bases in 2020. But can you believe 8 is the most caught stealing bases?
How many games did he play in 2020?
59.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
He's not a fan. His on base percentage hasn't been that great since 2020. I'll say 2019. No, he's 271 in 2021. Last year it dipped like fucking crazy. He went down to 204.
Yeah, from what I've heard, he was just playing hurt that entire time.
That's what it sounds like because he's dipped. Like he started 185, 170. This is all his batting average, but 185, 170, 276, 263, 256, 230, 140 last year. So yeah, that he only played 15 games last year. So yeah, hopefully he can get healthy and he can help us out. It just seems like we have a lot of guys on this team that are just like hurt.
Yeah, 100%.
But that brings me to another thing. It's like everybody's like, oh, we got a bunch of people that are hurt or whatnot. It's like, yeah, well, like you got guys on other teams that can just, as easily get hurt too. It's all about luck. Like who's to say that Kermit the Frog doesn't get hit by a line drive by Giancarlo Stanton?
Yeah, injuries are huge. It's just a huge luck thing. I try not to hold it against players too much. And, Aaron Judge really proved it himself that, injury prone is a thing for a player until it isn't. Like, he was injury prone
he was healthy all year last year. Like, do we not think that dude was doing roids?
He's been healthy the last 3 years, I believe. He's played at least 130 or 40 games each of the last 3 years.
I guarantee you he didn't play 100-plus games in 2020.
Yeah, well, doesn't count. Fake season.
All right. So moving forward, it looks like MLB has Tristan Casas turning a weakness at first base from last year into a strength this year. I agree. I don't even have anything else to say.
In my opinion, I believe by the end of the season, Tristan Casas will be considered one of the 10 best first basemen in the game. Like, that's how high my opinion of him is. I think he's that good. He's going to blow some people away. Dude, kid's just a stud.
He's going to blow people?
That'd be crazy if he just started blowing people. No, nothing against him,
Keep sunbathing, keep painting your nails, man.
I'm down with
and just
pride,
keep
bro.
mashing.
That whole thing with the painting nails thing, that was way overblown. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, this is what upsets you? Like, a guy who fucking paints his nails?
It's crazy, man.
Bro's just trying to be fabulous. Leave him alone. Leave my king alone. Shut the fuck up. Brandon.
I don't know about the eye patch. Leather jacket, maybe.
Double eye patch.
Spiked hair.
Oh, Brandon.
You get the little comb out with the comb over or whatever. Whatever. All right, moving forward. So I said something to you guys about this, and you guys kind of called me. You called me on it. Said, "Oh, the only reason why you don't like it is because you're bald." It's like, yeah, that's exactly fucking it, you dickheads. I absolutely hate the spring training hats. I collect fitted hats. I have a hat from every team, and I collect different types of hats and whatnot when it comes to the baseball teams. But like the mesh in the back, I've been collecting hats for like 14 years. I don't like them. I can't stand them. Like, am I concerned about, getting a sunburn on my head? Maybe. But no, I don't like them at all.
Dude, you would absolutely hate the hat I have on right now.
You have a snapback, don't you?
It's snapback and mesh.
Yeah.
Wow.
See, I don't hate them on other people. I won't wear them. I'm just I don't know. I have been. Um, one day, I went out. I bought a fitted hat, a Boston Red Sox fitted hat, and I just like fell in love with it. And then like I'd go out like the next week, I'd buy two more and whatnot. And then like 2020 is when I started like I got addicted to buying the hats though. Like I had already had like 40 or 50 hats before, but I didn't take care of them. But like 2020, I started like actually I bought hats. I might have like 130, 140 hats, and I have a case where I keep all my hats in.
So, as a hat guru, I have a question for you.
I wouldn't call me a guru, but go ahead.
What's your opinion on Velcro?
Next. If I don't like snapback, what the fuck makes you think I'm gonna like Velcro?
So you
Or,
just shitty
oh,
your
it's just
snapback.
no. You know what? It's Tim being fucking trolly because that's what he does.
Listen, like fitted are my favorite personally. The problem is my massive fucking dome. I can barely find fitted hats that actually fit my head, so I usually have to compromise with fucking snapbacks.
Yeah, no, I can't do it.
It's tragedy.
I had a guy I used to work with. He came in one day and he was like, I forgot where he was. I think he was from the from like Korea or something like that. But he had a Red Sox one of those hats that go through the loop or whatever.
Oh,
Yeah. So he was like, "Oh, I have Red Sox stuff I want to give to you," and I was like, "Oh, that's awesome!" And like he brought it in and whatnot, and I saw the hat and I'm like, "Fuck!" Like I'll never fucking wear this. And like I didn't tell him that. And then one day he's like, "Oh, you still have the Red Sox hat I gave you?" I was like, "Oh yeah." He's like, "Why you don't wear it?" I was like, and then I told him I was like, "I'm not a fan of those types of hats." Like I ended up like hanging it on my wall, but like that's what I would do with it. I would never spend money on that.
Man. Yeah, as far as the new spring training hat, I mean, I think it's all right. I mean, personally, I kind of like the the navy blue color scheme. Personally, I always like a bit more red in my Red Sox hats. Like that's why I wish they'd wear the the old school with this like the '70s hat, with the red base and the blue B. That's probably my favorite Red Sox hat. Actually, this one's my favorite. The fucking just the pair of socks on them.
Fair enough.
I personally like it. I like mesh hats, so I'm probably gonna get one. But yeah, that's really all I got for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I hate you, Tim. So the Red Sox were the first team to get a buck called against them. Wow, speak correctly. On the disengagement, the new rule is that you can throw over 3 times. It's actually 2 times. Well, if you step off or disengage for the 3rd time, you have to get the runner out, or it's considered a buck. We're going to see a lot of this year. Yeah. We're going to see a lot of runners on 2nd and 3rd.
Yeah, and I got to say, this is tragic. Just the Richard Blyer effect that this guy comes on the team immediately. We start giving up, box. Wow, what a bozo. Heim L once again.
Was it him that got the
buck?
It
was like when he had like 2 or 3 balks in the save at bat. Those are the only balks he's ever had in his entire career. That ump just had a fucking vendetta against him.
That was him. Honestly, the rule, I kind of like it personally, especially because it speeds up the game. So I'll get more into that when we talk about pitch clock later, if we're still going to talk about that a little bit. But yeah, I do like the rule, especially because like if you throw over a 3rd time and you don't get him, then you're just fucked.
Right, especially if there's a guy on 3rd base. So it's like, I'll just let you have 2nd. Screw it. Like, fuck it.
Yep.
You take it. Like, it's a cat and mouse game. Like Max Scherzer said it. He loves the rule and whatever. I mean, we could talk about the pitch clock, too, because, Hogdale, we've already had your opinion on it. But seeming as though it's brought up, Tim, what are your thoughts on the pitch clock?
I absolutely love the pitch clock. I mean, could they add a few more seconds so we could hear some more walk-up songs? Yeah, but like Hogdale was saying, I don't need to sit there and watch somebody adjust their batting gloves like Nomar, or sit there and rub their bat against their legs and do all these rituals. Like, let's play the game.
Sure. Yeah, I agree. I'm 100% in love with the pitch clock. I mean, we got a game last night that was 2 hours and 22 minutes.
Beautiful.
You know, like no more recording at 1 o'clock in the morning. Like, fuck yeah, sign me up for that. You know, I mean, I get some of the people's like arguments on it because like I live in Connecticut. It takes me almost 2 hours to get all the way up to Boston, right? So I drive 2 hours, I park, I walk 45 minutes to get, not 45 minutes, but like I walk like 30 minutes to go to the ballpark, you know, and then the game's over 2.5 hours later, and then I got to do it all over again, you know? So there's, yeah, I want to sit and enjoy it. I get that. I get that. And some people don't take in the baseball game. Do I think that this is going to benefit the teams? Yeah, I think on a health-wise thing, we'll be playing a lot. We'll be playing more. People won't be standing around. I know there's a lot of people out there that think that it's a health concern or whatever. We'll see at the end of the season. I mean, go ahead, Hogdale.
I mean, just to expand on it though, like in a more serious way of like the positives of the pitch clock. I've seen a lot of people like discrediting it just for the sake of like, wow, this is just meant to appease casuals and bring more casuals into the game. To which I would respond, yeah, duh. Hey, hey, every hardcore baseball fan, what were you before you were a hardcore baseball fan? You were a casual. Every single hardcore baseball fan was at one point a casual.
Yep.
So to bring in more of those hardcore guys, we got to get more casuals involved in the game. We're not trying to gatekeep here, lock dudes out of it. We want more people to get into this great game that we love. Baseball has not grown in this country, at least the way that it should have been growing for like the last 20 years. And this helps so much in that regard. And really, it's perfect timing because in a few years, like other sports that are growing very rapidly, like soccer, the World Cup is coming to the United States in the next 4 years. The last time the World Cup was in the United States, Major League Soccer was founded. So soccer within the next like 5 years is going to get a major boom here in the United States.
I'll tell you right now, man, like when the World Cup was going on, so before the World Cup, I didn't hear anything about soccer, anything like that. But when the World Cup started happening and whatnot, every day, news about it. There's people at work that were talking about it. One of my friends, he's like, shut up. Like I'd be over his house. He'd be like, shut up the soccer. I'm watching Poland play or whatever. And like, I found myself watching soccer videos of like old players and stuff. So like I started pulling stuff up. Am I going to get into soccer? No.
That's the thing, though, is like just it being in this country. And a lot of kids are going to go to those World Cup games because it's going to be held all over the country. And they're going to get into it.
Right.
And it's going to cut into some of the new kids that watch baseball and try to be baseball players. So I think this is the perfect time to do that stuff. It's bringing the game more in line to how it used to be. And that, games used to be 2 hours all the time or 2.5 hours. But yes, the years crept along and every team tried to min-max every single individual part of the game. It just getting longer and longer and longer. And I'm glad that MLB finally did something that will help grow the game. Like, it's so rare that baseball does something that makes the game more watchable and more appealing to a wider audience.
And people bitch about it. So who do you think it is that we need to thank for this? Because I don't think it's Manfred, because Manfred isn't that smart.
Man, I was
skating baseball.
I was just going to say it's not Manfred. You know who else is in the MLB front office?
Theo.
He's saving baseball.
Theo saved baseball.
Unsurprising.
He's trying to get Manfred's job.
Oh, 100%.
I hope he does.
If he goes for the job, it's his. Like, if I don't know how that works, I have to look into that and do some research or whatever. But it's not like I'm sure it's not like a presidential thing, whatever. I'm sure it's something to do with like the owners making the decision on who becomes the commissioner and whatnot. I know, was it Selig was the last one? Didn't he? I'm pretty sure he retired, and that's why Manfred ended up being the commissioner. Yes. Correct?
Yep.
Yeah. So.
Fuck
Fuck
Bud Selig. Hate that guy.
He brought us steroids, man. He brought us the steroid era.
Yeah, and then he fucking kept. He's part of the people who smeared those same people with steroids' name.
Yeah, isn't he in the fucking Hall of Fame too?
He is. You better bet he
scumbag.
is. He's in, but Barry Bonds is not. What a great fucking Hall of Fame we have.
What a fucking scumbag. All right, so let's talk about it, because defense is for fucking nerds.
It is. It's for
Is
bozos
it
and
Emmanuel
nerds.
Soto or Juan Valdez?
I mean, either one of those, names from Juan Soto being associated with the greatness that is Emmanuel Valdez is pretty fucking insulting. To me, this man's just in a league above everyone else. He's transcending the entire league at this moment. And yeah, he can't play defense. So what? Weep, cope, and or seed. That is my response.
So you have Emmanuel Valdez, who's obviously he's got power, and everybody ooh and nod yesterday when he hit that bomb. But are we just gonna like overlook Christian Arroyo now?
I mean, he'll just get hurt at some point. Like, that's nothing against him. He just will. It is one of life's great certainties, along with death and taxes, is Christian Arroyo at some point in the season getting hurt. And I do love him. I love Christian Arroyo.
I mean, you love him so much, you wanted him as your leadoff guy.
You know it, bro. You absolutely know it. Like, Christian Arroyo, he's a great vibes guy. As bringing up the vibes again. Plays good defense at second base, decent bat. He's just never shown an ability to stay healthy for a prolonged period of time. So I know at some point in the season, Valdez will get a shot.
Yeah, now that I'm thinking about the roster construction, we're going to need a lot of luck for these guys to stay healthy, to be honest. So I won't be surprised to see guys like Valdez, Hamilton possibly up at some point this season. And I would love to see them up, especially Valdez. I just love that guy's batting stance and the power.
All for half a season of Christian Vasquez. Thank you, Astros.
I have to see more. I only saw a little bit of him in AAA last year. I don't think I don't think he's ready for the major league level. I do think that I don't think he's ready either way. We will see him this year. 100%. That is a fact. We will see him at some point this year. If it's when Arroyo gets, if he ends up on the IL, if something happens with Mondesi, we still have Yu Chang as well.
So I have a question for you guys. Out of Cedon, David Hamilton, and Emmanuel Valdez, who do we see first?
Oh.
I think you're seeing Valdez. I want Cedon.
I think probably Valdez first, but Cedon could be literally right there because they really like him. Like everything that Cora's been saying about him, he's been raving about his defense.
But are they going to let him? He hasn't played in AAA yet, so
yeah.
If they're not, like Tim said earlier, if Hamilton's probably the last guy to get called up out of those three. Let's just leave it at that. Emmanuel Valdez and Cedon, neck and neck, I would say. I mean, you got Valdez because of his power, but Cedon is just good all around, basically. I mean, he's got to basically he swings at pitches outside of the zone, and he still makes contact, but the problem is that they roll over.
Yeah.
So with all that stuff, with that, it's an easy out. But he's got wheels too.
And Cedon's got some pop. Underrated pop.
I mean, I saw him last year with the Sea Dogs, and a lot of people compared him to Mookie, and I understand it. It's basically like his frame, and kind of how he holds his bat. I can see it. We got to stop comparing people to other people, Well,
I mean, it's also that he's a defensive savant, but it's Mookie's just such a complete player. I mean,
yeah,
it's such a high standard to live up to.
I'm sure Mookie's was the type of person that Cedon was.
Yeah,
Like he probably was the same way, and then he worked on his swing and whatnot. So
Brad, it's hard not to go there though, because like middle infield to center field, similar stance, similar issues at the beginning of their minor league careers.
yeah, you're very right. You're 100% right. I mean, there's a reason why people do it, and I get it. It's just it sucks because then like you compare this guy to him, and then if he doesn't live up to it, it's like see, because everybody wants to like they want to like shit on the person, like oh look at like the media for the Boston Red Sox or the Boston area media. They literally shit on Bloom in every move he makes. Won't give him any credit for the good stuff, but shit all over the stuff he didn't do. Like they were pissed when we signed. They weren't pissed, but they weren't happy when we signed Hunter Renfroe. Then when we traded him, they were pissed about it. Things like that. It's like, fuck, the guy can't do anything right for you.
Dude, I almost feel like some guys in the media would rather see Cedon fail so they can like bring up old comparisons than see him be successful and they have to write about it.
Nah, I don't want to see that at all. Fuck you.
No, I'm not saying I want to see it.
I'm saying like them, like fuck you.
And there's a certain guy I'm thinking of.
Maz?
No. Mr. Pete.
Oh God, fuck him. All right, let's move forward. We got some MLB stuff that I want to talk about. Before we do, I want to shout out the guys from Sox Prospects. You got Chris and Ian. I listened to the latest episode. Fantastic. A lot of news in there. They talk about, obviously, being Sox Prospects is their name. You're obviously going to get some information on the minor leagues and whatnot. But I feel like their knowledge of this minor league system is just so incredible.
Dude, I wish I had it.
Right. Ian was talking about how he began doing what he does because someone sent in an email, and it's just incredible. Like the guy started out in DC. He was watching minor league games. He was picking scouts. He was picking their brains and whatnot. And it's just incredible, like what he was able to do. And Chris is he's super knowledgeable too. Love the episode. Fantastic. Like I said, I don't usually listen to podcasts, but I wanted to listen to this one because of the fact that they were talking about Noah Song. And we had talked about this on the previous episode. And seriously, anybody who has any questions about the Noah Song situation, definitely talk to the guys from Sox Prospects because they, like I said, so knowledgeable. But moving forward, MLB news. This one, like I couldn't help but chuckle about this because Aroldis Chapman slipped in his house and cracks his tooth. Didn't we have something similar last year that happened to Aroldis Chapman?
He got a tattoo and got an infection from
infected?
it. Yeah. Right before the playoffs.
Oh, God. Shout out to Karma. Coming around.
So I was listening to the Cardinals-Mets games on Monday. I believe this was a Sunday game. Not 100% sure. But they were talking about this one, like, pissed me off, but then I thought about it and I was like, yeah, really. There was the radio people. They were talking about how MLB should fine or kick out players who take longer than 2 minutes after a home run. It don't take 2 minutes to run around a base. And the celebration, even if you add a celebration on it, it's not going to be like 2 minutes. Am I wrong?
Give me 1 second.
I mean, yeah, there's no way. They don't take that long. They're exaggerating.
I mean, how long did Poppy take to go around the base?
That's what I'm looking up right now.
Because I swear he was the slowest guy. He trotted. He didn't run.
So he has the slowest ever recorded time running around the bases. I'm looking for the time. Oh, there's a tracker.
Is there? Oh, my
Lord.
Lord.
Tater Tot tracker.
Tater Tot tracker. Is it called tatertot.com?
Oh, what? That's not the link sent me to something stupid. All right, yeah.
This is tragic. That's the thing, though. That's the one thing you don't want to regulate the fucking time on. Is we want these dudes to show personality when they hit a bomb.
Okay,
again,
so
that's how you get more dudes in the game.
his relaxed time was 32.91 seconds.
Oh, come on. You see, that's...
Which is approximately 1.5 seconds slower than the previous record set by Bobby Abreu.
And yeah, those are still nothing. Like, yeah, 30 seconds. Like,
yeah.
30 seconds?
Whoop-de-doo.
No. What is the longest time?
Because usually like a good bat flip or a good fucking mean bug will a few seconds. And then they're just doing a trot.
Dude,
Tim died.
Tragedy.
I want the bat flips you see in like the NBP or NPB.
Oh yeah, all sorts of crazy shit going on.
Dude, have you seen what they do with their All-Star games?
Have you
No.
seen what they do with a CBP? What is it? The Chinese Professional Baseball League? Do you see what they do there?
No.
No, what do they do there?
They have like a celebration before and after. Like they have a musical guest and they like put on a full show and whatnot. They have like cheerleaders. It's like, bring it on, dude. Like that back in 2020, I used to wake up at like 4:00 in the morning just to watch baseball games over in China.
Yeah, dude. So the Japanese All-Star game, they do a bunt challenge, like a bunt derby. Like there's certain spots on the infield that are worth different points.
Oh, that rules. That's a great idea for an all-star game festivity.
All right, so listen to this. All right, speaking of home run shots and whatnot, I looked something up. I can't find David Ortiz's longest, how long it takes, because 30-something seconds doesn't seem right. It takes him like 30-something seconds to get to second base.
I'll send you. Come on.
I mean, how many triples did he have in his life? 2? And he hit him in like his last year or last couple of years
I
or
believe
whatever.
so, yeah.
It's crazy. But so I was like, what is the longest time a person has taken to go around bases after a home run? And nothing actually came up. But this did come up, and it's kind of funny. It popped up on Google. It says, is there a time limit for home run trots? And it says, there is no time limit, but the unwritten rule, here we go, unwritten fucking rules, is that you run the bases at a decent pace, not sprinting, but maybe half to 3/4 speed.
Brad, look at what I just sent you.
The fucking unwritten rules, I swear to God.
32.91 seconds. Everybody in the chat room is probably like, what the fuck is this for? It really was.
I feel like that's not unreasonable.
That isn't.
I mean, you're taking your slow ass time, but like 2 minutes is such an over exaggeration.
Yeah, like way too much of an over exaggeration. And again, we want our players to be fucking showing off with these home runs, man. Like, we want these dudes to be showing some personality. There's like, you could count on your hand, like, the amount of people in the league who actually, like, speak their mind. We need more, not less.
Yo, Hogdale, I have a question for you.
What's up?
How would you feel about Jazz Chisholm around the entire base path just Euro stepping?
That would be fucking hilarious. That actually would take probably 2 minutes. That'd be such a flash.
Right, let's move forward. We have a couple injuries that I'd like to talk about. I want to talk about some Correa thing. There's something Correa related, which I'm sure a lot of people are tired of hearing about. We'll talk about some Blue Jay stuff, an ex-Blue Jay / Red Sox player had signed a contract, and then we'll call it an episode for today, guys. So Joe Musgrove fractured his toe by dropping a kettleweight, or what are they called? Kettleball, kettleweights, whatever, on his toe.
Ouch.
Unfortunate.
It sucks to be you, dude.
That sounds awful.
You know what sounds even worse than that?
What?
Gavin Lux being out for the season.
No.
Dude, I feel bad about that.
That sucks.
That's one that I wouldn't even like. That's one that I wouldn't joke about. But like breaking your toe in a gym is just kind of funny. But like, I don't know. I thought he just bent his knee the wrong way. I was hoping he didn't tear his ACL. I knew it was a possibility, but I was really hoping it wasn't that. And then it came back later, it was, and I just felt awful because he was getting his first real chance this year to prove himself, especially being the Los Angeles Dodgers everyday shortstop.
So, like, as soon as I saw it, I kind of made a joke post about it. You know, I was like, Jose Iglesias, you are a Dodger. And immediately after posting that, because that seems like the best thing right now, right? Immediately somebody on Twitter was like, "Oh, we should scoop him up." I was like, "Well, why?" And he said, and he goes, "Because fuck the Dodgers." And I was like, "That's a good reason."
Respectable reason.
It is a respectable reason, but I mean, like,
we should just sign every middle infielder that's available just to fuck the Dodgers.
See, that's the joke's on us though, because now that Lux is hurt, they're gonna just find whatever all-star shortstop has like 1 or 2 years left in their deal and trade for him. Because they're the Dodgers and they can just do that.
All right. Moving forward, it's also Seiya Suzuki is going to be out with a left oblique. He's not going to be part of the World Baseball Classic. Another person with an oblique strain is Tyler Glasnow.
It's a bummer.
Not a shocker, though.
I'm just happy to say.
Oh, go ahead, dude.
I'm just happy to see Heim injuring other teams instead of the Red Sox for once.
Yeah, putting his talents to use. I gotta say though, shout out to Bill with the Sox South the best tweet when he said it looks like Tyler's made of glass now. Yeah, so good job, Bill.
And those fucking dad puns.
I love Bill, man. His dad puns are the best, bro.
Bro, like you got to hear some of the dad jokes I have that I say at work. It's fucking hilarious. So it came out yesterday. I didn't see this as an article. I actually ended up seeing a video where it was Michael Kay talking. And he said that the Mets passed on Correa because they believe he has 3 or 4 years left on his ankle. And after they rebuild it, it's so that he can, basically have a life. He won't be able to play baseball. You guys hear that?
I only saw the tweet that you shared, but I hadn't heard anything else about it. So I was just kind of curious about where they were hearing that from and how reputable it was, because I haven't seen it anywhere else besides the Michael Kay show.
Not for anything, and I know he's a Yankee announcer and whatnot, and I might get some shit for this, but I think Michael Kay is kind of reputable.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I know
if he got that,
I know he is, but like I don't know. I kind of would like to hear from multiple places before I take it with more than a grain of salt, if you know what I mean.
Well, to me, it makes sense though, because I mean, like, yeah, the Giants, as soon as they saw the medicals, were like, yeah, fuck that, and then the Mets did the same thing. So I mean, you got to think his ankle is looking pretty catastrophic. Is it just like dust? Like when you like X-ray his ankle and like get a look in there at the MRI, is it just like fucking? You just see a cloud of like dust where the bone used to be. Could be. I think we're not considering enough here.
And 2 more things. The Blue Jays ended up hiring James Click as the vice president. That whole thing, like with him and the Astros, just seemed weird.
Yeah.
Like you literally just won a World Series and now you're with another team. Like that, I don't think it has anything to do with Click. I think the fact that they only offered him a 1-year deal, especially after they just won the World Series. Granted, all of those were from the previous. Most of those players were from the previous GM, but it's like he was there, and you're going to just offer him a 1-year deal. Something didn't seem right.
To me, just reeks of Jim Crane being a cheap ass, which from all indications he just is. So yeah, I mean, of course, like when all the dudes on that World Series team were what was his name, Lunau?
Yeah,
Those
see,
like,
that's why I
Yeah.
said the previous GM. I was like, I
Yeah.
couldn't come up with his name for some reason.
Yeah, it's like that's all his guys. So
Right.
like yeah, Click's probably like, yeah, I want a 5-year deal, and like Chip Crane's like, why? What-
I mean, 1 year seems like a slap in the face. I
It
mean,
is.
2 years, I would have been like, that's still kind of disrespectful, but that's more respect. I mean, it's definitely more respectful than, you know, a 1 year. But it's like, regardless of it being Lunau's team, he was still the GM and he had to manage, situations. So, Tim?
Home run hire for the Blue Jays, and that's really all I got on that.
Yeah.
I think he's an exceptional executive, and he'll thrive and help the Blue Jays develop, draft, any way possible.
And the last thing, which actually came out like right before we started recording, Jackie Bradley Jr. Good for you, buddy. He signed a minor league contract with the Kansas City Royals. Tim, I know you're kind of a dick when it comes to this, but I'm happy for JBJ, and I'll always have love for Jackie, simply because I remember the first game I ever went to, which was in 2013. I walked into the store and I saw this shirt that said Bradley Jr. on the back of it. Had no fucking clue who it was. And I was like, that's my guy.
Respectable.
So I will always have some love for Jackie Bradley Jr.
That's respectable.
I'm happy for him. I'm happy. The fact that it took so long, though, like we're a week and a little less than a week into spring training, like the games. Do you guys see him making the Kansas City Royals roster? Tim, shut the fuck up.
I mean, maybe. It's the Royals are pretty terrible, so I mean, like he has a shot, but I mean, JBJ just kind of looked, cooked last year. Like his bat looks like it's just gone forever. So at this point, he's kind of relegated to a defensive replacement.
Fair enough.
I will say this. I totally forgot they traded Michael A. Taylor. So I think there is a good shot he could make the roster. I don't know if he'll play every day, but I think he has a shot.
No, there's no way he's going to play every day. I mean, the dude literally got a minor league contract. I think he opts out. Yeah. I don't think he wants to be in a minor league team. I mean, they'll put him down where? AA?
Where's their AAA located?
I believe in Omaha.
Yeah, I'm good on that. If I'm him, at least.
Yep, they're in Omaha. The Omaha Storm Chasers. What do you know?
Do you guys have anything else that you guys would like to talk about before we end the episode?
Hogdale, you're beautiful.
Yep, thanks, Tim. I appreciate that, man.
Speaking of Hogdale, we now have a Hogdale shirt. Hogdale, do you want to tell everybody about it?
Yeah, it reflects my ethos that has recently come to light after the whole Emmanuel Valdez thing, that defense is for nerds. And now you could buy a shirt with a cartoony version of my face on it that says defense is for nerds to let everyone truly know the correct opinion. Because there really is only one good take, and it's mine.
All right, Tim, Hogdale, I appreciate you guys jumping on. Tim is part of the weekday podcast. We'll be working together throughout the season. And Hogdale obviously is part of the Sunday crew, and he'll pop on every once in a while whenever needed.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
All right,
God.
take it easy, guys.
See ya.
Deuces.